Hey everybody, this is James and I'm back once again with a devlog update of my GamesPlusJam game entry that we're working on. I've been playing around with a lot of fun stuff in the last day and we'll get into that in just a moment, but more importantly, I've been seeing really cool things that people are making. Everybody's doing awesome stuff. I can't wait to see how all this stuff turns out by the time the jam is over. But keep making cool things, keep being awesome, and keep sharing your progress here in the comments or on our Discord server or over on Twitter, so everybody can take a look at what you're working on. But let's jump into what I did today. So most of what I worked on since the last video has been getting the Ragdoll Physics of our character working correctly. This is something I haven't really personally played around with much in the past, but it was a lot of fun to play around. It took a while to get it to this state here where the arms and legs will wobble around. Obviously it took a little bit of work in Blender to rig the whole model up so all the arms would move correctly and all that. But the ragdolling immediately started to feel fun with all this bouncing around and seeing what everything would do. But one issue that you can kind of see here is that the arms get slightly detached from the body as you're going faster and faster, which is a problem that took a little while to work out and resolve, but I did eventually get it sorted out. You can kind of have a better look at it here where when I'm jumping up and down, the arms are wiggling around like crazy. That's not the behavior that we want to have. So I didn't want to get completely bogged down in that. So then I went ahead and made the texturing system work correctly. So now you can switch between the different teams. It's basically just swapping out a different sprite for each different character. But it works pretty well, and we'll design that to look a little bit better. We'll add the team logo whenever we think of the teams. We need some names for the individual teams in the game. I don't know what they are yet. They won't be countries or anything like that, but something fun. So I did that, and then I did some more work on the rigid bodies, and I made this very simple animation which looks pretty silly, but I kind of like how silly it looks, so I don't think I'll actually improve it. I was going to make it look a little bit better, but the running looks so ridiculous. I think it works pretty well. I like the floppy arms. Having the floppy arms was what I wanted to have, so having them bounce around as you run along I think is pretty silly, but works pretty well. We might add some rotation to the body, but then when you get to the end also, the character just kind of falls over. I've made that look a little bit better. It doesn't just immediately stop at this point and fall over. And that was kind of where I wrapped up for the day. It took a lot of work getting the ragdoll system to work correctly. It was something that I didn't anticipate it taking so long, but one of the important things to take from it, that, well, at least as far as I'm concerned, is that now I know how to do that. That's one thing I always try to do in a game jam, is try and learn something new that I don't know already. So I didn't know my way around the ragdoll system, and it is actually pretty handy how you can do it in Unity. But maybe we'll take a look at how to do that in a tutorial some other time. So when I woke up in the morning, I started doing some more work on the rigid bodies. I made them a lot more wiggly. So as you can see here, the arms are flopping around all over the place. And I also added a nice toon shader effect to the character. So you can see here, they've got the kind of cartoony look to them, and we've got a nice little outline around the character too, so that when you're running and playing around in the game, it feels a little bit more cartoony. So the environment and things like that I will eventually get to doing will all have that kind of cartoony shader look to them as well. And then just to show off some of the physics-y goodness, I made the character on the team select menu be a bit more raggedy like that, and made it a bit more obvious which teams you're picking as well as you're going around. A little bit of colour goes a long way in a game like this. And here's just a final little look at where the game currently is. You can see the character running along. The arms are a little bit more wiggly, like I said, so they kind of feel a little bit better as you're running along. And most importantly, I fixed the crossing the finish line ragdoll effect. It looks a little bit nicer when we fall over this time. So when we get to the end, and you just kind of flop over onto your face. I do think it looks a bit silly, but I really like how that looks. And that's pretty much where we are in the game for now. As I said, it was a lot of time working on those ragdoll physics, so this I didn't really get to add a lot of cool things apart from those, but I think that works pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with that. But there you go. That's it for today's video. I'll be back with more video update goodness tomorrow. Keep sharing your progress, keep showing me all the awesome things that you're creating. Over on Discord has been the main place where people are sharing things especially. But thanks for watching this video. I'll see you all tomorrow with another devlog update, and in the meantime, keep being awesome.